What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It's match preview time. Back to the championship. We're out of the cup, but some would say, and I'm in full agreement, we have 12 cup finals left, and we start with Huddersfield away on Saturday. Early kickoff, 12:30. But I've got a feeling that we'll be ready. We'll be ready. I think we'll be more than ready, people. Don't worry about it. Before I get into it, you know the drill, people. Please like the video. Best thing to help the channel out. Algorithm. Please hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, drop your score prediction and comments below. Thank you to William Morrison, who submitted a super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated. And if you want to become a member of the channel, the membership link is in the description. And thank you to all existing members of the channel. Listen, we're a day after the defeat to Chelsea, and I still feel the same. I still feel like it was a valiant effort by the players, and it's something that they can actually take some momentum going into the next game. And listen, let's get into the team news, because just like I thought, and look, sometimes, you know, I think maybe he did have an injury, but Georginio is back. And I had no doubts he was going to be back for this one. And I was going to do my preview today regardless. It just so happens that Daniel Farke did the match press conference today, which was good. But Georginio was able to train today and look good. No surprise. So he'll be back in the starting lineup come Saturday. I guess the only one that is going to be a late call is Ilya Gruev. But I think we've seen already that if it comes to it, Archie Gray will go into the midfield. And not only will he go into the midfield, he'll excel. And then we can put Connor Roberts at right back. And Connor Roberts in the championship, I do trust. So, you know, it's not like we're going to be missing much. I mean, don't get me wrong, Gruev has been fantastic. But Archie Gray, and we're going to speak about him in just a little bit more detail in a minute, is an exceptional midfielder. And he really proved it the other night. I mean, a lot of the world woke up to Archie Gray against Chelsea. And unfortunate for us, but I have no doubts that if we get promoted, he'll be here regardless. So no worries there, but we've got to get that promoted thing first. But yeah, so even if Ilya Gruev isn't good to go, we've got the option there of Archie Gray, continue midfield, Connor Roberts at right back. Direct in the house, a really good game, some real quality in shows. We have to work on. Okay, have to work on what? Ryan here saying tough period coming up. Shout out to Lewis, man, you've been going through it, man. You've been going through it, Lewis. Oh my days. If you bickering with your fans, they're calling you not a real fan. It's all mad, isn't it, Lewis? But yeah, shout out to you, Lewis, man, and I hope to see you next year in the Premier League as well, man. It was a good game. And it was closer than it should have been for you guys. So yeah, we'll see you next season, man, hopefully. Okay, Direct here, clarifying here. Thank you for a bit more context, Direct. What we have to work on, as in the positions and issues that we have to work. I mean, yeah, I kind of get what you're saying here, but yeah, I think it's quite clear that we need defensive reinforcements to begin with straight away. I mean, new goalkeeper, new defensive line. That's got to be of importance in the summer window. And I'm going to go to a quote from Daniel Farke from yesterday, not today, but it's another thing that I like to hear from him. It's another thing that I like to hear, and it makes me happy, because I know a lot of people can fall into the sentimentality thing of everybody that gets us up deserves to play. It doesn't work like that, people. And Daniel Farke, he keeps alluding to it, and he says it a lot. He's like me on here. I'll always say caveat things with at this level. Daniel Farke is the same as well, and I'm going to bring that up in just a moment. Elmi here saying marching on together. Yeah, listen, but in all, we have the game against Huddersfield. They're going to be up for it as they always are. Daniel Farke alluded to that today. He says everyone's always up for it against Leeds United, which is the truth. We all know that. So yeah, we'll approach this game like every other league game that we have done. Stay on the front foot, put them under pressure heavy, and then get some early goals. Let's do that and just continue the winning run and get another 3 points. I do think we're going to win this game. And I'm just going to say my score prediction out early. I think it's going to be a 3-1 Leeds win. I'm going to give them a goal. Let me see how generous I am. I'm going to say 3-1 to Leeds in this one. Put your score predictions below and so on and so forth. Shall we go to him next? Darren here should be the beginning of the end for Bamford. Joseph was fantastic. Yeah. And listen, this is no slight on Bamford in terms of championship football, because he's done well this calendar year, I should say. 2024, Patrick Bamford has done well. But what Mateo Joseph showed me against Chelsea is exactly what I've been looking for in a striker. That's what I look for in number nines. And it's stuff like this. Let's get his he's getting a little bit of shine here. So here we are. Here's Mateo Joseph here. 90 minutes played, 2 goals, 2 chances created, 30 touches. Okay. That's what I want from my striker. I don't care about heat maps, about strikers running down the flanks and doing all this running back malarkey. I want my strikers to be clinical, and Mateo Joseph is exactly that. And he is going to be hungry. He's going to be ready. He's going to want to play in this game. And I feel with everything, he should start in this game. He should absolutely be the number 9 in this game versus Huddersfield. He'll be up for it. He'll be hungry to continue the goal scoring form. Why not give him the start? We've got nothing to lose. He's not a big drop down on anybody that we've got. Let him play. I've been wanting this guy to play. I feel like if he had played more consistently this season, I know he's been interrupted with injuries and what have you. I think he'd be on at least 10 goals if he had got more game time. This is a chance for him now to stake his claim, because Mateo Joseph as well, we've got him on a long-term deal. You know, he signed his new contract this year. But Mateo Joseph, if he continues in this vein, keeps working the way he's working, he can work in the Premier League and he can be a striker option for us. Whereas, other ones will not be or should not be striker options for us in the Premier League. They just shouldn't be. But Mateo Joseph could be that one. And it's still going to be difficult. Listen, young strikers, it's a different kind of game in the Premier League. Even seen with Evan Ferguson for Brighton, next big thing, next big hope. He's gone like on a big goal drought at the moment. It's not like we're going to see Mateo Joseph score 25 next season. Not even saying that, but I do think he's got the physical attributes. I think he's got it up here as a forward. I feel like he'll be a step ahead. He should be with us in the Premier League, but we should be giving him more time in the Championship. Yeah, Martin is saying Defo's start Joseph. He's hot and up for it. I mean, well, hey. Well, okay, Martin. Yeah, Leeds on top saying Joseph just needs a run of games with scoring goals. Yeah. And shout out to you, Isaac, for the super chat. Thank you so much, Isaac. Hi, KG. You've been saying Joseph should be given a run for a while. You've been spot on. Really impressed with him. He could be a great asset for the club and give us what others couldn't, a lethal finisher. Yeah, 100%. The problem is, if you're not running around like a headless chicken, people think that a striker's not doing enough. I'll never subscribe to that. Never ever. Give me a marksman over a marathon runner any day of the week. More Mateo Joseph, less Noah Hunt for me. And it's not even close. I don't care about heat maps. You know that it's what you do. It's what you do with the heat map. What are you doing when you're running around? Are you manipulating the ball? Are you creating chances? What are you doing with all that running? Mateo Joseph there, you saw that. And as well, 2 shots on target, 2 goals, clinical. I need that. And he's done that against Chelsea. You've got to let him run on against Huddersfield. And I just want to go to this here. This is from the new Phil Hay. I mean, I think her name's Nancy something. She's now a second writer for Leeds United with The Athletic. But this was from Daniel Farker's comments yesterday. Mateo, I'm not going to read all of it. You can go to the Athletic article, but I want to go to the main bit. Yeah. Pre-season. Then he had a long-term injury, was out for several weeks. It's never easy for a young player to come in such a side because we are a good side, and I want to highlight this here, by Championship standards. Daniel Farker, I think he knows that when we go up, Martin are trying to beat all the allegations in the chat. Tremendous. But listen, what I want to go back to, Daniel Farker has said this a few times. He said it about Dan James earlier this season, and he said it, I can't remember who else he said it about, but he said this a few times, and again, he said it here. This team is good at Championship level. So he knows that we cannot just take this team up and try and compete in the Premier League over 38 games. It won't work. It just won't work. You need reinforcements, and he knows that. And that's what I like to see. The only thing that I do need to see from Farker, because he would have probably said the same things at Norwich, is that if he doesn't get everything he wants, which I don't see happening, I think he'll get a lot of what he needs. But let's just say he doesn't. I need to see that he doesn't tactically do to us what he did to Norwich and just leave them wide open and say, well, I haven't got the players to play the way I want to play. Here's a 6-0. We don't need to see that again. We had enough of that in the last in the Prem. But I'm hoping with everything that he is learn from his mistakes there. Because I want to reiterate, I don't want a new manager. I don't want to keep on changing managers. So if Daniel Farker has got the recipe and can do it this time with Leeds United in the Prem, I'm happy for him to stay for however long. Because listen, don't agree with everything he does, but he's been right and done well most of the time. Obviously, tactically, he'll have to be more flexible in the Prem because we're not going to be playing Rotherham every week. We will need to change things against the better teams, but that will be on him to learn and to know, won't it? But I just like the fact that he keeps on going back to saying by championship standards. That means a lot to me because in the previous regime, we'd have probably tried to, well, we did anyway. We tried to get everyone up and play everyone, not sell a one player, even keeping Tyler Roberts and all these guys. I hope the 49ers know that you, even with the best will in the world, you cannot keep everybody here. Absolutely not. If you want to be a Premier League team long term. Um, listen, yeah. And just saying as well with that, with Mateo Joseph as well. He was saying about today, as in the Chelsea game, it was not a gift or coincidence that he played him just because a few key players were out. He earned his place in the starting lineup. He had a good performance in the last round of the Cup away at Plymouth. And that's what I just wanted to say in terms of why I want him to start in this game, because I'm just hoping he doesn't just see him as that cup striker or give him another 8 minutes against Huddersfield if we're like 3-1 ahead or something. I want him to give him the start. I want him to give him the opportunity to score goals in this game. And I think he's more than capable to do it. I've had a big confidence in Mateo Joseph for a long time, but when I saw him come back in the summer with a bit more muscle on him, still quick, still got all the physical attributes you need as well, I was sold. And I do think he could be a key component for us going forward. Ryan here saying Farker knows half this squad isn't good enough to take the next step. Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, Ryan. Because I don't know if he's changed his mind on Dan James since he said it earlier this season, but he always made the point to say at this level, Dan James has done well for us at this level. And I mean, even listen, it's a one-off game, I know, but you saw with yesterday with Dan James, it had that old Premier League feel to him, didn't it? It was the lack of composure. He was speedy as hell. He's got all the pace in the world, but then that final bit just let him down. Whether it was the two shots he had that went super wide, high and wide, or the overhit crosses, and it's like, oh no, Dan, come on, man, don't let me down. I've backed Dan James this season, and I still think he's been brilliant for us this year. But Premier League, it's a different animal. It's an absolutely different animal compared to the Championship. Arson here saying Dan James worthy of being a super sub in the Prem. It may have to be for that, Arson. He's not going to start in the Premier League. He can't. And you know what? I'm showing my hand too much before the end of the season, but no, you've got to be better. And that's where players like Somerville, Nonto come in. They've just got a bit more composure, and it's hard to describe, but they are just Premier League players. They are just Premier League players. There's no doubt for me that those two that will be able to play in the Premier League week in, week out, and not have their progress interrupted by a mid Jack Harrison. So yeah, oh, shots at Jack Harrison. I don't care, man. Get all those loan people out of here. Get them out of here. Hopefully, we're getting deals with those guys to get out of here as well. I don't want any of them back. I've made that very clear. So yeah. That's all I'd say, and that's what I'm really hoping to see when we get the team sheet Saturday. Hopefully, we see Joseph start. If not, it's not like I've got any lack of confidence at this level for Bamford or Peru, but I just feel like you've got to ride the hot hand, and especially someone who can help you going forward into the future. So yeah, what else is there? Okay, we spoke about Mateo Joseph. We've got to speak about the say the man of the hour, the kid of the hour, but he's going to be 18 soon. We can stop saying 17-year-old Archie Gray very soon. But Archie's light shine absolutely bright last night. Even in a defeat, in a losing effort, he was the man of the match, or player of the match, as they're now saying. And there he is with his award. I do hope, though, at some point, people, that they stop asking him about Eddie Gray and everything else like that. I think, all right, man, Archie Gray is his own player now. He's going to be at a level that is clear of a lot of people. So, stop asking about Eddie. I mean, I love Eddie Gray. I didn't see Eddie Gray play. I just saw him as assistant and then, temporary manager after David O'Leary and stuff. But yeah, Archie is his own, player. So hopefully they start that soon. But he was just superb against Chelsea. And just to bring up LUFC data's stat line for him against Chelsea, and I just want to point out it's not even the 93% accuracy. It's not even that. It's not the successful passes. The ball recoveries were, those were good, but it's this here: 4 out of 6 successful take-ons. That is what you need in a progressive midfielder, and why my belief in him is that he can play the 8/10, a hybrid role. He's primed to do it, and he will get assists, and I'm sure he'll get goals once he gets that midfield berth back. But at the same time, I have no qualms about him at this level, championship, playing right back for the rest of the season. 12 extra games, no problem. But in the Prem, we need to see him in central midfield, because that is where he's going to shine most. Oh, yes, I've seen that quote before. Martin R here saying, I saw Eddie play. He was class. As Revy said, he could run in the snow and leave no footprints. Yeah, I've heard that one, man. I've heard about that one. That's a great quote. But yeah, just Archie. And you saw, I don't know if everyone saw around the, whether it be on social media or what have you, but the noise about Archie Gray just got louder. It got louder and louder. And we knew teams like Liverpool, Borussia Dortmund, and all these guys were looking at him. Mike McGrath recently said that Nice were looking to buy him. I don't see how that would have happened. I don't think Archie Gray would have left for Nice, in all honesty. But he's going to have way more admirers now than ever. It's just going to go through the roof. So, we've got him here. He signed a new contract here, even though that there's probably clauses in there if we don't go up that will allow him to leave. But yeah, when we're in the Prem, we're going to see the very, very best Archie Gray, because he will be playing central midfield. Mike here saying Archie is the Yorkshire Bellingham. Yeah, I mean that's a high bar. Let's just say that, though, because Bellingham has been sensational. But I'm saying, though, Archie Gray could have the same mentality as Bellingham, because you got to think of all the players that go to Real Madrid. That's high pressure there. When you talk about the big clubs, Bellingham going to Real Madrid and having the goals and assists that he's got in that team, it's unbelievable. He's doing stuff that is just hasn't been done before. So, but Archie Gray, could he do something like that? Maybe. But I just feel like he needs to progress with us here, especially in the Prem. There's no point Archie Gray being here in the Championship next season. No point at all. And I don't think the clubs above us will allow it to happen either. But hopefully he stays. But with us in the Prem, please. He does love Leeds, Darren. He does, but that's the old supporter romantic stuff of thinking that if we was to stay in the Championship for the next 2 years, the Archie Gray is going to be here. It just doesn't work like that anymore. I'm afraid. SJ44 saying, when Archie finds out where the net is, we won't be able to keep hold of him. I mean, you say that, SJ, but you've seen all these like midfielders that are going for 60, 80 million, and hardly any of them score any goals. You know what I mean? I don't know if the market's going to change, but yeah, he's going to be worth so much money. But I hope, my hope is the romantic thing, that he stays here for the majority of his career and we ascend with him in the team. But much like when Calvin and Rafinha left, if you're not going to back the club or back the team to go where these kind of players need to go, like Archie Gray, like a Somerville, like Georginio, then expect them to leave. You can't have it. You can't have it both ways, I'm afraid. So yeah. David here saying, I think Archie will be an England regular in not the too distant future. I believe that too. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be this summer, but yeah, I would take an easy bet that he's going to be England international. Does anyone know if he's going to pick Scotland? I don't know if that's even a thing. But yeah, if he's to play for England, yeah, I 100% see him in the senior team. Ryan here saying, I think we will get a year from Archie if we go up, but after that, money is going to talk. Well, yeah, Ryan, I think, yeah, if we go up, he stays 100%. I would have no doubt about it. But if we make moves, unlike when Calvin left and Rafinha left, why would they have stayed in that team? You know what I mean? They can like the fellas as much as they like. They can get on with them, but they knew we weren't going anywhere with those players. And Rafinha was always going to go Barca eventually anyway. But if we had recruited properly and said, this is the plan, this is where we can go, and we're aiming to get into Europe, you can possibly keep players. But if you're not doing enough to recruit around them, they're going to leave. That's just football. That's been football forever, but even more so in the modern era. Gavin here saying Archie and his advisors will also be wary of KP situation. Now, again, that I mean, sorry to say, that's basic, that's surface level thinking. To think that just because you've left one club and it's not worked out another club, no, it doesn't work like that. Archie Gray will know where he wants to go, and Calvin Phillips knew the deal. Calvin Phillips knew he was not going to play ahead of Rodri. He knew that. Now, did he think when Rodri was out, he would probably play? Maybe, but he didn't do enough. Pep said many times. Pep said many times about Calvin, he wasn't doing enough. He was either injured, or as he said one time, he came back overweight. Now, if you're not doing enough in training with Pep, who is the best coach in the world, then you're not going to play. Now, that's not going to be any signal warnings, because in this same example you're giving, he can also, like someone said earlier, look at Bellingham going to Dortmund and ripping it up. Now going to Real Madrid, and that is one of the world's best players. You know, there's many other examples where a young player moves and it works out for him, than just looking at, oh, Calvin left Leeds and it didn't work out for him there. I wish it was that simple. It just doesn't work like that. Oh, has he? Okay, fair enough. He has declared for England. Yeah, because I keep wondering if he's going to actually play for Scotland or England. So thank you for that. Yeah, hopefully that. Awesome. Chelsea want Somerville 200 grand a week on a 7-year contract. He'll be off. Yeah, I didn't read too much about that interest. I do know that there is a little bit of interest from Chelsea on Somerville, but that doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. Or when we was talking about Somerville leaving in the summer, he was being linked to those, bottom end clubs like Chelsea, Burnley. Sorry, not Chelsea, Everton, Burnley. And I had no worries about that. But I did think, well, what if a Newcastle comes in for him? What if someone else comes in for him like that? Then it's a harder decision to make. But again, if we go up, I think Somerville stays. I think you want to enjoy the fruits of his labor of helping Leeds United to go up, and he'll want to be a part of it. Because unlike the last, time we was here, if he doesn't do well in one game, I don't think he's going to get put to the bench for some other mediocre player to play. I think he will get a run of games to get his form up if he does dip in form. SJ here saying Pep ruined Calvin with his low body fat obsession. Shrinking Calvin has taken his strength from him. That's funny. Hold on a minute. The only thing I'll say, SJ, is who started the whole shrinking bodies thing? It was our own Bielsa. I think people are forgetting. I know the years are ticking on a bit now with Bielsa and his former, his obsession with a certain body type. But you remember our team at one stage, they all looked like this. And they were just machines. They were just running machines, weren't they? And Calvin was a big part of that as well. He had to get his body type down. And we know from Calvin that he likes a dessert. He said it himself, so when he came back from the summer one time, he had to lose a little bit more weight here at Leeds. So yeah, it's just something. Listen, a lot of coaches are the same. They prefer, Pochettino's the same as well at Chelsea. He likes to have his players at a certain body type. But listen, Bielsa did it here as well, and he had to get with the program there. Ryan here saying the good thing, though, KG, is with FFP, teams are finding it harder to splash out, and we would. Yeah. The FFP is a real thing. You see him in the Premier League right now, Forest, Everton. I know Everton have got some points back, but they could be losing some more. It's insane, but I'm all for it. I mean, actually, I do wish that the FFP would get lost, but in all fairness, we are probably one of the big reasons why FFP exists. It's crazy because they don't want another Leeds. We talk about Berries going out of business and everything else like that, but they don't want another Leeds United where we overspent for no reason at all. Peter Rizal took it way too far. And then you've got a club that's the size of Leeds bringing in the revenue it does that could possibly go out of business. So, FFP, it was designed to stop like Man City and all those, but it was also designed to not avoid another Leeds United. So we're probably part of that problem. Let's have a look here. Yeah, a lot of chat. Okay. Oh, who's that? Who had a haircut? Like Samson, it might have been the silly haircut that took his strength. What is that? Is that Pascal Strout we're talking about? I don't know. John here, we all like pudding. Yeah, it depends. It depends. Ruben in the house. How many of these players start in the Prem? That's a question for the end of the season. uh, Ruben. We'll go through it at the end of the season, but yeah, we'll have a good chat about that. That's going to be, I think that's going to be a long stream. I think that's going to be a long stream because, as I say, everybody can't go. Yeah, it was Martin. When you're getting when you're having about five strikers on your books and they're all very, very well paid. I'm sure at one time Bridges was injured a lot. We had Smith, Keane, Viduka, uh, Fowler, and then most of the time we'd play Kuehl up front anyway, and play Wilcox at left wing. It was ridiculous. And the Seth Johnson thing, I mean, that just took the Mickey, didn't it? You know, Seth Johnson, I want this amount. Well, Ridsdale's nah, mate. We'll give you more than that. Come on now, you know, it's too much. It's too much. Uh, Gavin here, no longer following the Leicester model. That was Rads. Yeah, I mean, I respected it in a way because to be fair, at the time you're talking about recent league champions Leicester City and FA Cup winners. Understand, but why not have your own model? Let's have our own model, people. Let's not try and be the next Brighton. Let's not try and be the next Leicester. Let's try and be the next Leeds United. You know what I mean? Let's do things our way. You know, let's do things our way in a good way. And I think, you know, with the way 49ers operate, all the data and everything that they use, I think we are going to do things our own way. Because if everyone tried to do the Brighton thing, they'll be trying to sign little unknown South Americans, and they could miss terribly with these. It could all go wrong. So try and, you know, make your own successful model. And that's what I hope we do. Uh, Isaac. I painted my toilet seat with Peter Ridsdale's picture. The thing is, you know what? It's so mad. He almost killed the football club, but just for the European runs, I do love him for that. But yeah, he just took it way too far. And it wasn't just getting in new players. I mean, Danny here about Seth Johnson's wages. It was about our own players as well. It was our own youngsters that we already had on long-term deals. And then you just saw every few months. Let's just take one, for instance, Woodgate has signed a new deal. 3 months later, Woodgate has signed a new deal to put his wages up to Rio Ferdinand. It's like, what? Why are we doing that? And I was young then. Even I knew that wasn't sustainable. Crazy. Yeah, it was. It was ridiculous. Fowler was overkill, big time. I did not understand it. We did not need Robbie Fowler, but it was a marketable, shiny new toy, wasn't it, for Peter Ridsdale? And yeah, just and he didn't even want to come. I think Fowler said that he didn't even want to leave, and he was pushed out, which is usually the way. But yeah, we didn't need him, man. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Mike's not letting this go. I love it, Mike. Mike, if we get Shesko, it's not going to happen. I wish we did, but it's not going to happen. But Mike here, getting rid of Bamford's wages would free up some cash for Shesko. Mike's been playing too much Football Manager with the edit. Yeah. You've been playing with the editor, haven't you, Mike? But yeah, listen. Yeah. Whoa, Digler, nah. Rio Ferdinand, we absolutely needed Rio Ferdinand because at the time, Rio Ferdinand was legitimately one of the hottest centre backs in the world. And you're talking about at a time where it was Cannavaro, Nesta, all these real men centre backs. And he was well worth the money, Rio Ferdinand. And also at the time, Lucas Radaby's injury problems were starting to really come to the surface. He wasn't playing as many games, which means we had to play Michael Dubry. Now we needed Rio Ferdinand, people. Rio was class, and he was one of the best centre backs, you know. And I wish that we could have kept him, but when he left to Man United for 29 million, that's when the alarm bell should have started ringing. Really, it didn't for me at the time. I was like, but when you look years later, like yeah, this is where it may have started. Yeah, it was a ridiculous partnership. Ferdinand and Woodgate, tremendous, man. Yeah, Isaac here. Rio made the team tick, and I think Diggler's drunk. Rio made the team tick. He was the only player that returned a profit when sold. Yeah, we made so many losses, and the thing is, even with some of our players, they came through the academy, so I guess that was profit. But we did not sell them for nearly what they were worth. I mean, I remember the one year Lee Bowyer was supposed to go to Liverpool for 9 million. 6 months later, I think he moved to West Ham for, was it 350,000? Yeah, we was doing business backwards, man. Mike is saying, I've added Sesko on my FIFA career mode and confirm he cooks. He's cooking in real life, Mike. He's been a hitter since he was at Salzburg, man. But then he moved to Leipzig, and I don't know where his next stop is going to be, but I've got a feeling that one of the big boys will be looking at him, whether it's Premier League or around the continent. But yeah, God, we have gone well off the rails here, haven't we? We've gone well off. Huddersfield, are we playing them? We haven't even spoken about Huddersfield. So let's get on to let's just quickly show the table. We're obviously second, I should say. Let's keep those greens going. And Huddersfield, let me keep scrolling down in 19th. You know, they've had a little bit of a new manager bump with their new boss, who Danny Farker said today has actually worked with Willy Gnonto in Switzerland and Georginio Rutter in Germany. So he'll know about those two players in particular. But yeah, I fully expect the quality of this team to see us through and get 3 points. Let's have a quick look at what our competitors are doing. We obviously have the early kickoff. Southampton away at Birmingham City. Yeah, maybe Southampton get back on the horse here, but I don't know if Russell Martin's still going to be a little bit rattled. Maybe Birmingham can take advantage of that. Leicester home to QPR. Fully expect Leicester to get back on the horse against QPR. There should be no excuses. Going to go back to QPR in just a second here. And Ipswich away at Plymouth. Now, that was a tricky fixture, but since we beat Plymouth at their ground, they've kind of lost a couple since then. So we do need to continue getting the 3 points. Just want to say as well back to QPR. Did anyone see the news about Ilias Chair that so many of you guys wanted? I don't know if it's real or not. Maybe somebody in the chat can confirm to me. I think he's in prison. I don't mean to laugh. I think I read he's in prison. Let me look online now while I'm here, man. Ilias Chair. A sentence to a year in Belgian prison. Oh, okay. He's in prison. Oh yeah, okay. Let me just share this here, just to show on. He's not. Yeah, he played the other week. Yeah, for breaking a man's skull with a rock. Yeah, he's been handed a 2-year prison and a fine in Belgium, but he played the other week. Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay. I just couldn't believe what I was reading. I was like, wait a minute, this is the player that people wanted us to sign. He is championship as championship can be. I've said it from the start. I don't rate him like that. He's got talent in his locker, but he doesn't do it consistently enough. And I think he's like 26, 27 now. So for me, that was never going to be an option. And looks like we had a lucky escape with this one. You know what I mean? He could be heading to prison FC. So there you go with Ilias Chair, man. Crazy. Gavin. Tremendous sentence to play for QPR. That's a good one, Gavin, man. You're good with those one-liners, Gavin. I'll give you that. That's tremendous. But yeah, Gavin, that was a good one, Gavin. He will eventually have the prison time. May not be available starting next year. Yeah, so not one to keep an eye on. It doesn't really concern us, but I've just found it very interesting, man. Very interesting. But yeah, people, I think that is it. I don't think there's going to be any news tomorrow, so I will be back with the match reaction. So if you're around on Saturday, join me for that one live, and we'll talk about the game and another 3 points for Leeds United. Please, if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop your score predictions, comments below, and I'll see you Saturday after the game, people, on this promotion push. 12 cup finals left, people. Let's get it done. Peace out.